Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Hello, CF. Hello, Purse Delighted. Dee Dee, happy Sunday. Welcome. I am trying, hi Mo. I'm trying to change my settings so that I get the live chat instead of just the top chat. Happy Sunday, ladies. If you would go ahead and hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Gonna give folks just a moment here to get into the room and then we will get started. Hello, Mrs. Q. Happy Sunday. Okay, thank you. I know that many of you are probably like I am, that you are finally able to just relax and maybe chill out. Hopefully, the days are getting a little less stressful, and that you've just been able to have this whole election thing behind you, regardless of whether you're red or blue. The fact that America has cast its ballots, I feel it reduces a little bit of stress for all of us. So let's see. Sunflower is 6. Khadijah Productions Tour. Did I get that right? Miss Angie, happy Sunday. Dancing with Nature 925. Welcome. Hey, Candy Crusher. Hi, Sus. Hello, hello, Lucinda. Glad you all could join. I have I'm gonna call it. It definitely is a sip and cuss. Um, but I think I've changed my mind about the order that I'm going to do this. I was gonna save kind of the Dooney tent sale discussion for the end, but I think we should probably start with that. Hello, Peaches. Welcome. So Dooney started on Thursday by launching its online tent sale. As I mentioned last week, the tent sale online, thank you, Sus. The tent sale online is not new. They have done a version of the online tent sale before. And what I hope is that those of you that have not attended a tent sale in person, that you do not get discouraged by what you are seeing online if it was ever in your plans to go to Norwalk and shop an actual tent sale in person. Those that have been to this tent sale, whether you've gone one time or whether you go every single year since they've started, what you are seeing online is not representative of what you would see in person at an actual tent sale. Quite honestly, I'm kind of glad that it's ending today because there isn't anything on the site, nothing from a pricing standpoint, nothing from the Dooney archives that even comes close to what the in-person tent sale experience would be. TL, you're right. I saw several bags that the code took off a whopping $1.50 off of the price. No lie. I think, and I'm curious to see if it's going to ship. There was a patent leather bag that was marked down to $55.20, like a full size patent leather bag. I know what the bag looks like because I purchased it myself, pre-order back at the beginning of COVID. And I thought, you know what? At $55 plus $30 off in points, I could give somebody a $25 Christmas gift that absolutely does not read $25 spent. Now, the question is whether or not it's going to ship. But beyond that, and I know patent leather isn't for everyone, beyond that, it is more than disappointing. You're not seeing any better pricing, quite honestly, than what we've seen in prior sales that were unrelated to the holidays. Some of the prices are not even as good as when Dooney was providing the 30% off when we were a couple of months into COVID. So if you found something, if you are shopping for gifts, if there was something that disappeared, if there was a color that you were hoping to add to your collection, maybe this is the time to do that. But I'll reiterate this year, like I did last year during the 12 days of Dooney, and I will likely end up, unfortunately, reiterating during the 12 days of Dooney this year. These sales just don't seem to be geared towards those of us that are Dooney addicts. Those of us that are continuously buying throughout the year, stocking the inventory, looking for deals at retailers other than Dooney and ILD. It just doesn't seem to be an attraction for us. It's more geared for the person that maybe has missed out on all of the deals all year long, but they've got to buy a gift for their mother-in-law. They've got to get a gift for their girlfriend. They've got to buy a gift for their wife, and maybe it's something that they haven't purchased or picked up, and they are willing to pay kind of whatever the sale price is at that point to get the gift home. So if you are disappointed, you are in good company. I had much too high of expectations going into this tent sale, and unfortunately, as Dooney has done in so many other ways, it was a huge disappointment. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me, but it looks like, based on what I'm seeing in the chat, that I'm not the only one that was disappointed when I logged in and saw the inventory. And I'm curious. I know for probably the last 3 years, Dooney has posted bags in categories, right? So instead of being able to click on the tent sale and seeing everything, or clicking on clicking on the 12 days and seeing everything so that I can scroll through, it is click here to see pebbled, click here to see exotics, click here to see under 150, click here to see crossbodies, click here to see. I don't want to have to do all of that work. It's taken the fun for me out of shopping the sale. So I've got all this extra work, and the page is loading and back and forth and all this other stuff, only to realize that there's nothing from an inventory standpoint that catches my attention. So I don't think it's just me. I could be wrong, but this was terrible. But I don't want anyone that has plans of attending a tent sale in the future in person to get discouraged by what you're seeing online. They have done this before. It has sucked before. It does not in any way mirror what the tent sale experience is like in person. For those that have attended a tent sale, if you would just kind of share with the other ladies and gentlemen in the chat what your experience was, and how what they're seeing online compares or contrasts to what the actual in-person experience is like. I'm sure that it would reassure some folks that actually going to a sale in person, whenever that opportunity presents itself, that it would be worth the time, worth the effort to get there for it in person. All right. So that's the first part of, I'm going to call that part a PSA, because this last part is truly a sip and cuss. And so last week, I revealed on my channel 2 Dooney Bourke Florentine bags that were not up to my Florentine standards. And I say my Florentine standards because everybody, all 49 of us that are in this chat tonight, have different standards when it comes to handbags, our preferences, our leathers, sources for or markets for purchasing. So it didn't meet my standards. Well, guess what? Neither of those bags are eligible for return because I purchased them over 60 days ago. So I'm stuck with both of them. So I give Dooney credit that because of COVID, they extended their return policy from 30 days to 60 days because of COVID. But I'm stuck with both of them because both of them were purchased longer than 60 days ago. So y'all know how I feel about returns, so I was already not feeling that. But then to learn that I'm going to be stuck with both of them or trying to sell them and then disclose what I feel are the issues with the bags, probably they're probably just going to be stuck in my collection. That being said, the red Camden is already so beat to hell that I think I'm just going to take it out. Like, I'm just going to treat it like I did my Florentine Russell, which was perfectly flawless when I got it. I didn't treat that bag. I didn't spray it. It hasn't been conditioned or cleaned or anything. So since that one's already dinged up, it's going to become my rain Florentine. And I know for some of you, you just clutched your pearls because I put rain and Florentine in the same sentence. If that's the case, you must be new to this channel because I don't care anything about the weather when it comes to my Florentine leather. But this one, I'm going to specifically pull out to make sure that every drop of rain that falls from the heavens can possibly touch that bag. I am going to dog the hell out of that bag. Now, the tulip, on the other hand, I don't know what to do with that one. The shoulder drop, the rolled handles, the size, the silhouette, I don't know. As I guess I'll start with taking the tape off of the strap. Maybe that's where I should start. But anyway, I think it's more disappointing for me than being displeased with the purchases is that I am at a point where reality is setting in where I'm having to accept that Dooney's quality is so inconsistent that I now feel that if, and that is a huge if I purchase anything else from them, it's going to be a purchase that I have to immediately inspect, which for many of us that are in this community, part of the joy of this community is watching the unboxings and then the reveals, if it's in a bag, or the unbagging. It's the what fits, it's the how did it carry, it's the wear and tear updates, right? It's like the seeing the bag kind of be born and the progression of how that bag wears and develops its patina and is used, and how it ages and how the leather softens. I think all of that is a part of what we look for when we are either engaging in YouTube entertainment or when we are contemplating a purchase and looking for the opinions, the usage, the experience of others in the community to help us make that buying decision. So it frustrates me that they have gotten so inconsistent that I feel like the clock is ticking when a box comes in, that I have to immediately open it up to see what, if anything, is wrong with it that will require me to return a bag. And I say return because the brand is clearly making so much money from us buying that they continue to not need an exchange policy. But I mean, every other retailer that I shop has a return and an exchange policy. Many of them have policies around price adjustments, or an old school rain check or back orders. But clearly they are making way too much money that they won't even entertain an exchange policy, even when the issue that causes the need for the exchange is on their behalf. Things that they should have caught before it ever got placed in a box, before it ever got sealed, before my address label ever got placed on it, before the carrier ever came to pick it up, before it traveled from Connecticut or California, before it got delivered at my house. The issue was at the start of the process. And even though that transaction got off the rails because of something that was outside of my control as a consumer, the brand still feels compelled to inconvenience me as the consumer. We're back to these abusive relationships. When I say we, I'm specifically talking about me tonight, right? It's the constant abuse. It's the lack of customer service. I feel like returns and Dooney's customer service are like themes for 2020. And we all know there hadn't been a good thing to happen in 2020. Including Alex Trebek passing away today. There has been so much loss and so much disappointment. I don't know about you, but some of the highlights of my week are seeing FedEx, UPS, Amazon, my mail carrier, DHL. I know that when those folks pull up either in front of my house or into the driveway, there is going to be a little bit of retail therapy sunshine that enters into the threshold of my house. But here's what my issue is, as if that wasn't enough. So in the food industry and even in the cosmetics industry, when a brand is changing a formulation, changing a recipe, changing something about a product that has been on the market for a while, and they are getting ready to do anything to it, right? They may consider it an upgrade, but you may not consider it an upgrade if it's anything other than putting more in the box for the same price. Some of us don't like our formulations being changed. So, but when they do, what they do is they notify their consumer. So they either throw labels on the package to make sure that you pay attention to the fact that this cereal is made from non-GMO grains. Or you might even see that you now have a regular option And they've gone so far as to release salt-free, sugar-free, low-fat. You know, they've taken all the stuff out of it that makes it taste really good. But they make sure that they put some kind of label up there to manage your expectations that this is not the original, right? There's something different about this one. So you can pick and choose which of those formulations you want. And if the original formulation is going away, they are sure to tell you that this is the new and improved version. So we see commercials letting us know that the marshmallows in your Lucky Charms are now larger, or the raisins in your favorite brand cereal are now plumper, juicier, harvest someplace different, they're organic, or whatever it is. They take the time to make sure that you know, as the consumer, something about this is different. In beauty, when it comes to your favorite lip scrub or your lip conditioners, if they're changing the formula to go vegan, like Bite did not too long ago, they let you know to help manage your expectations. Now, that vegan formula, in my opinion, trash. But I made that purchase knowing that based on the reviews, based on my sample, it was not going to be the original, and make the decision on whether or not either A, I can live with the changes that they have made, or B, the value that they're offering in this little gift set outweighs the one product included in it that would deter me from buying the whole set. So they do all of that to help manage expectations, to help ensure that as a consumer, you're getting what they would consider a consistent experience. And by consistent, I mean, if it's different, know that it's different before you put it in your cart and before you go check it out and go pour your cereal in the morning, or before you dip your scrubby or your finger into that lip scrub, you know that there's something different about it. So, with handbag fashion houses, and tonight I'm specifically talking about Dooney and Coach, just those two. Those are the two offenders for tonight. They have missed the mark now so much. It is unreal. So Coach, all right, let me say this. I know that what I'm about to say is not a universal experience. It's not a universal experience, and that's okay. Good for you. Great that you have not had these experiences. I hope that you never have them. But for many of us, it is our experience. And I would say the more you shop online, the more frequent your purchases are online, the greater the likelihood statistically that you're going to have one of these failed transactions. So that's my disclaimer. But all right, let me get back on topic. So place an order with Coach on coachoutlet.com. And I'm expecting that item to ship from the warehouse in Jacksonville, Florida, which is just a few hours south of me. I expect it to come from Jacksonville and that it's only going to take a couple of days. And I learned that it's not going to be shipping from Jacksonville. Not because I get an email from Coach saying, hey, your package is going to ship from a store, but because I don't see anything in my UPS or my FedEx app that says I have a package coming from Jacksonville. Instead, I see something that says Williamsburg. And I'm thinking, what did I buy? What did I buy? Who did I purchase something from that would be shipping from Williamsburg? So I go back through my email and I'm looking for all of the emails that have confirmation numbers on them, and I'm going back through to try to figure out who ships from Williamsburg. I haven't purchased anything from Williamsburg. And then I realized that it's my Coach purchase that's actually now being shipped from a store. And I look at this address and I realize that's not Williamsburg. You've been in and out of Williamsburg. You've been in and out of the Dooney store in Williamsburg. Like, where the heck is this? And to Sanford's point, you realize they are shipping your stuff from an outlet store in Williamsburg, Iowa. I would have loved the option to know that that inventory was not in the warehouse, that it's going to ship from a store. Why? That's where you live? Oh my goodness. Then I had some product to come from your outlet store unexpectedly. So I Google and figure out, okay, how many miles is it from Williamsburg, Iowa, not Williamsburg, Virginia, right, Dee Dee? That's where I immediately think of when I hear Williamsburg. I automatically think East Coast, Virginia, not Williamsburg, Iowa, which I never even knew existed until I had a Coach package to come from Iowa. And it took like 8 days for it to arrive after it finally shipped. So, package comes from Iowa. I would have loved the opportunity to know that it was not coming from the warehouse, because now this transaction, which should have been a little bit of retail therapy heaven, has now sent my anxiety load over this package back to pre-2020 presidential election mode, where now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are they going to send me the COVID model that has been on the sales floor? Are they going to send me that one? Or do they have one that's in the back that's not been soiled by dirty hands? Will they think to pull it from the back and ship me that one? Or are they going to just ship me the jacked up model off the floor because nobody's buying that one, and they'll ship that one to me, and now I've got to deal with this whole possible return decontamination fiasco, and then they'll take a fresh one out of the back that's nice and clean and put it out on the sales floor for more COVID hands to, touch and model. Okay. So then I start wondering, is the SA that is inspecting my package, is Pissed Off Patty, my SA, handling this transaction? Because she's mad all the time. She didn't get her weekend off. She mad because they called her in. She didn't get to leave on time last night. She upset because she didn't have her break. She upset because McDonald's ice cream machine was broken and she didn't get her McFlurry. Like, it's Pissed Off Patty, the SA that is inspecting my order. And if she is she also the person that's going to package it? Because we already know Pissed Off Patty is going to throw some tape on your box, throw your bag in the box with the receipt, likely, not in the dust cover. Maybe it comes with a dust cover or not. Maybe. She's going to throw some tape on it, throw the label on there, and then hope that she put the right label on the right box. Because, see, our very own DJ King had a package to ship, not out of Sanford's Williamsburg, Iowa store, But the item that she ordered came with the right receipt, but the wrong item was in the box. And when she called, they realized immediately when she gave her government name that they had already heard from the person that had DJ King's. They had the right receipt, but the wrong item. And now they got to flip flop stuff back and forth between. Yeah, Lord, you just, when you order from the store, you run the risk that you get pissed off Patty at her highest level of frustration. And then as the consumer, we're stuck trying to remedy that problem. Or, even worse, it's the last one. That's the only inventory left in the country, and they found it in Williamsburg, Iowa, and they shipped it to you. And it looked like it was the same model that they used at Fashion Week, that they used to go show the swatches at Dillard's and Macy's. And maybe it went to Jacksonville in the warehouse for a little while, and then it got returned in a store, and it's jacked up, and you would have much rather them have just damaged that one out than to run the risk that pissed off Patty was going to be the SA packing your order and shipping it to you. It defeats the purpose, in my opinion, for a retailer to spend payroll dollars, packing supplies, shipping, only to end up having to pay somebody to process the return, and to receive that item back into inventory, only for the cycle to go over and over, repeat itself over and over and over again. I don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like when they do that, they have pulled the old bait and switch, because as soon as Coach verifies that whether there's money on your account or there's available credit on your credit card, if that's how you're paying, you are at their mercy as to where your merchandise is coming from. And don't let it be an incorrect inventory in the store, and the Jacksonville distribution center sends the request to fill the order to Williamsburg, Iowa, for Williamsburg only to realize that they're supposed to have 2 in inventory, but they actually only have 0 in inventory, and now trying to get your funds released or credit back to your account because pissed off Patty didn't process the transaction closeout correctly to show that there was no available inventory for that order to be filled. Now, Dooney and ILD. Orders from them are like literally taking a leap of blind faith. It is literally like standing at an intersection, closing your eyes, stepping off of the sidewalk, and wondering whether or not you are going to be hit by a car. Because it's a gamble every time you place an order. You might get the item that you ordered on time in a few days, or if you talk to Reshmi, you might end up just getting an empty box with a receipt, and it be months later with absolutely no resolution as to a refund, a replacement item. You're just stuck in limbo. You don't have a product. They have your money, and customer service is set on 0 because there is no appetite for them to help you. So, Dooney, your box could arrive in a couple of days, or it could be a few weeks. If you purchase during the holidays, you could get it in 2020, or you could get it sometime in 2021. Those of you that have shopped the 12 Days of Dooney before, remember that there was a couple of years ago, where folks ordered items during the 12 Days of Dooney, and it was late January into February before those items actually arrived. Yeah. So if you were planning to gift them for Christmas, you might be better off planning to give it for Valentine's Day because it was not good. Then when you get it, the box could be perfect, or it could look like it rolled in the wheel well of the delivery truck for every single mile through every single weather condition by the time it arrives at your door. It might have an extra dust cover in the inside, or it may not have a dust cover at all. Or you could have ordered 3 bags and they all come with individual blue bags on the interior, but they throw one of the new dust bags in there to cover a 3-item purchase. So I don't know if someone has figured out that logic yet and can help explain it to me, but I don't understand why, if I purchase multiple items and you're putting in an extra dust cover, why doesn't it come with an extra dust cover for each of the items that I purchased? I don't get it. I don't understand. Your package, once you open it, it could be in factory packaging with all the bells and whistles and little padding and papers that you expect when you make an online purchase, or it could come in what appears to be an office clear trash bag with clear packing tape that quite honestly, the clear packing tape on the plastic bag sometimes seems to be stronger than the actual security tape on the outside of the box that they use to hold your contents on the inside. Go figure. And don't even get me started on Macy's, because they are the ultimate disrespecter of bags. If you have purchased a handbag from Macy's, if you have watched an unboxing, unbagging, a reveal of a purchase that anyone in any community has made from Macy's, it will put your stomach in knots, because they will take a little plastic mailer, throw your Cassie, your wallet, your Parker, your May, your Mia, your Dalton, your whatever. They will throw it in that little plastic bag, seal it, throw a label on it, and drop it in the mail. No extra padding, no extra stuffing, no packing peanuts, no bubble wrap, just from the sales floor or from the back room into a plastic mailer, and good luck. That's when that bag leaves the store or the warehouse, it is really riding on a wing and a prayer. And you just hope that it doesn't get caught on a conveyor belt and it start pulling on the plastic, which exposes the leather, which causes all kinds of other problems. But with what my Macy's experience has been, order the bag and the matching wallet. and only get one tracking number. The plastic mailer arrives, and I immediately see that on the receipt it shows both the bag and the wallet shipped together. And I'm looking in the plastic and I'm like, they didn't even put it in here. Only to go look to see if a dust cover is in the bag, to find, after I've untied the Macy's bag that they decided, that this associate decided to throw my stuff in, to find that they decided to take the wallet that I purchased, to put it inside the bag, and put the bag inside the Macy's bag, and then put the Macy's bag that they tied up inside the little plastic mailer bag, and off it goes. I don't know how many more purchases I can make online from Macy's, because between them and Dooney, I don't understand. I don't understand. And the funny thing is, I've placed orders with Lord and Taylor, Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, and that has not been my experience. Now, I know that my experience may be different than yours, and you may have had those experiences with different purchases that you may have made from those retailers, but that has not been my experience. So, in this COVID virtual shopping reality that we are in, like it or not, I want you to hear me, retailers. Like it or not, you have been thrust into the world of providing a personal shopping service. That's right. A personal shopper is what I am expecting when I blindly trust the pictures that you put online, and I trust that your system is secure, and I use either my debit or credit card or PayPal information to pay for product. I am trusting that pissed off Patty is not going to be the person that is receiving my order, picking my order, packing my order, shipping my order, or God forbid I have a reason to call customer service. I do not want to talk to pissed off Patty when I call. I need you to consider your customer service policies, reconsider them from the beginning to the end, because you are now in these COVID days providing a virtual shopping experience, but I am paying for the expertise of a personal shopper. Somebody that is going to look at the item, inspect it through the lens of the most particular consumer. And I want them to be empowered to look at that item and say, this is unacceptable. I'm going to go talk to a supervisor. If they are not empowered to reject that transaction on their own, they need to go and talk to a supervisor about this item being damaged or unacceptable for shipping. I don't expect to have to do that on the backside. Now that you've gotten my money, gotten it all tied up in your transactions, now I'm waiting for pending processing and reposting from your bank to mine. I shouldn't have to go through all of that as a consumer. So, I want to make sure that retailers understand that they are no longer simply hiring warehouse associates or order pickers if they are a retailer shipping final product to consumers. You're not. You are putting at risk my business as well as the business of the other folks that are watching this video. You are putting your payroll dollars, your end of year bonus money, your anything else at risk, including whether or not I reach a point where I get so frustrated that I decide that I am no longer going to frequent you as a virtual retailer. I can take my money elsewhere, or quite honestly, can watch it sit in the bank during these COVID uncertain economy times. But training, if you are going to continue to offer virtual shopping options, ensuring that the people that you hire, train, choose to employ understand that they are a part now of that equation. It's no longer I'm just a warehouse order picker and I'm just picking a SKU and throwing it in a bin, and somebody else is going to throw it in a box, and somebody else is going to verify it and seal it and ship it. That every step of that process now has become critical to the ultimate e-commerce process. And I need to make sure that not only is the inventory right, the policies around those transactions are reflective of the time that we're in. I need to make sure that the training and the attitude around the people that you're employing to help with that process is where it needs to be. Because as the consumer, I should not be the one that is inconvenienced because the ball was dropped at the beginning of the process, which is when pissed off Patty picked my purse. How about that for a tongue twister? So, I know for some people this is going to seem a little bit extreme. You're entitled. But I need for my purchases to be packed like you are packing eggs or fragile glass, because I worked hard for that money and chose to engage in an e-commerce transaction with your establishment. And if I've done my part, I need for you to do yours. It is completely unacceptable unless you are shipping me Q-tips and cotton balls, which I do get from Amazon on Subscribe and Save. Those are about the only things that I order that I don't expect there to be some kind of packaging or security to help minimize the movement of things in a box. I mean, you could literally order an ink pen from Amazon, and one, they're going to ship it in a box that's way too big, and then it's going to have like 95 different pieces of bubble wrap or air paper in there. Sometimes they go overboard, but I'm not going to ever complain over them going overboard. The offenders for tonight are those that are doing little to nothing to protect purchases that are rarely under $100. Rarely under $100. And even if the package is under, the value of the package is under $100, that still does not give pissed off Patty the right to disrespect my purchase before it arrives at my address. That's it for me. The tent sale, I wasn't expecting much from it, but the fact that the inventory is the same stuff we've been looking at since the start of COVID made it a lot easier for me to forego a purchase. And quite honestly, based on the returns, based on the issues that I've had as of late with Dooney, unless there is something there isn't anything right now that's on my Dooney list. I am so in my feelings over that double disaster from last week. I don't know what they could possibly release during the 12 days that would make me say, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. Because every time I do that, I get glimpses of battered woman syndrome. Like, I just keep getting my behind beat. Like, it's this abusive man that constantly is dishing out whatever treatment he wants and just keep coming back, keep coming back. I know y'all have heard that analogy a million times on this channel, but that is in essence what it is. And I'm at a point where I have been nothing except a Dooney addict, to the abusive relationship, throwing out the idle threats that I'm gonna stop buying from Dooney, continue to buy, and then have gone through almost 2 years of brand exploring because I got pushed in my way to indulge elsewhere. It's been a great experience. I would have probably not had some of the great pieces that I have if it had not been for Dooney missing the mark so often. From there to accessory overload, trying to get organized, and I almost immediately outgrew my organization bins, to now having bags with no home. I mean, they are all over right now, and I feel like I need to get them corralled. But the only thing at this point that is probably pushing me to reevaluate where I am is because they are pushing me to evaluate my purchases even closer. Because, as we've said on this channel before, there will always be another bag, there will always be another sale, there will always be another color, there will always be another bag, there will always be another sale, there will always be another color. Do y'all remember that live? So I am at a point where I'm going to have to digest that message again for myself, because they just don't appreciate, whether we are considered essential workers or not, they do not appreciate Dooney. Let me be specific. Dooney does not appreciate the fact that their stores were closed for over half of the year, and we as loyalists continued to make purchases, even though they didn't have updated inventory, even though they were still sending us old, used, recycled, returned product. We still did what we could with the offering that they had to continue to indulge in our retail therapy and to cope through COVID and to stimulate the economy in our own individual ways. But I am done supporting companies that don't appreciate me. I've got, I think, an amazing collection. It's my collection, right? You have an amazing collection. It's your collection. And I've got a lot of stuff that I've purchased that I still need to share. But it's gonna, I don't know that there's, I had a list, and I shared it with Candy Crusher earlier today, of bags on my list for my upcoming birthday. But the more I look at that list and the more I talk to individuals about the bags that are on that list, the more I take things off. Because Candy Crusher, since we spoke earlier, I've taken 2 of those bags off of my birthday shopping list. 2. And if you recall, I only think I had 5 on the list to start with, so I'm already down to 3. So if Dooney wants us to continue to have a relationship, they've got to do their part. And right now, I feel like we have spent all of 2020 dancing between or bouncing between one issue with them or another. Whether it was codes, working, not working, inventory, shipping on time, not shipping on time, waiting for their customer service policies around returns to catch up. Don't get me started on the boxes, the tape, the shipping. It has been all over the place. So I need to see that they're going to do their part before I feel compelled to do anything else to support them, because retail transactions are in fact a two-way street. And at any point, I can put up a do not enter sign or a one-way street sign or whatever it is and take my business elsewhere. And right now, Dooney is such a gamble. It is such a gamble based on the transactions that I've had that I don't know that it's worth it right now for me. So that's where I am. I don't know what your experience has been if you don't have a channel, but I know many of my tribe sisters have shared with us what their experiences have been. We go from giving Dooney credit, which is a dangerous thing for me nowadays, because you almost have to immediately eat those words, because something will happen that will just destroy all of the credit that you previously gave them. So that's where I am. So no bag tonight. I debated on whether or not I was going to throw accessories in, whether or not I was going to show a bag. But you know what? I felt like this topic was serious enough for me that it should be a stand-alone topic. So that's it. I'll pull something out, share with you next week. But for now, the sip and cusses are getting a little old, because we seem to be talking about the same things over and over and over again. And that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Buying from the same company that has the same policies, that hasn't done anything to get better in that regard, and expecting the transaction to look any differently when the box lands on my porch. So I've got to reevaluate what I'm going for here. Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start 2021. So thank you so very much for watching. Mrs. Q, are we back on Friday night? Will you be back for Real Friday? Ladies, let's congratulate my tribe sister, Carmen Hawkins. Carmen hit the YouTube threshold today of having 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you have been over to her channel or frequent her channel and have not hit the subscribe button, please do so. She is at a pinnacle milestone as a growing YouTube channel, and we all do our best to try to support each other. So we will be back together on Mrs. Q's channel this Friday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central for Real Friday. And then I will be back with you on Sunday for another edition of Feed Your Addiction. Thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, I do hope you find something that feeds your addiction. Take care.